After the videos on Changeling the Dreaming and Mage the Ascension, you might be curious to know what happened before the Order of Reason formed. Well, I have good news for you, because White Wolf thought the exact same thing and created the Dark Ages, allowing you to roleplay what happened in those pivotal years, rather than just reading about them. Unless you're a storyteller who wants a lore dump. The Dark Ages is what happens when you combine the aesthetics of Dungeons & Dragons' Ravenloft setting with the gameplay of the storyteller system. The Dark Ages is normally set in the 12th to 13th centuries, a pre-modern age where the Crusades were at their heights, the Inquisition had begun, and the Renaissance was about to dawn. Playing the Dark Ages allows you to experience a world filled with the highest of fantasies, while also grounding you in a human world filled with great suffering and politicking. If you like the history of the 12th to 13th centuries, along with good old-fashioned chivalry and fairy tales, you'll love the Dark Ages. It is a blending of both World of Darkness lore and real historical events. Both of those combined create a very different setting from your modern-day chronicle. In the Dark Ages, you can be the mythical heroes bringing light to the darkest time in human history, or you can be the very villains who made it the darkest of times. Or maybe you'll be something else entirely. Imagine playing as the secret court mages trying to make the Philosopher's Stone. Or maybe you'll play as someone within the Inquisition's monster hunting division, driving back the beasts of darkness. Or maybe you'll be the beasts of darkness, as this was the height of their reign. Or maybe you just want to be a fae. Yes, I am judging you right now. Or, conceivably, you'll want to make your own vampiric Blackadder. Go for it. The limit, as always, is only your imagination.
Imagination.
If you enjoyed the lore sections for Mage the Ascension and Changeling the Dreaming, or the origins for why the modern knights are the way they are, mixed with something else from this section, then you'll enjoy playing in the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages requires the storyteller and players to have a good understanding of both the real-world history of medieval Europe and World of Darkness lore, especially in regards to whatever country the storyteller sets their chronicle in. This is especially difficult as a lot can happen in a single year, and as the Dark Ages span at least 200 years of history, the storyteller will have to put in a lot of work to make a believable and immersive Dark Ages game off the ground. To compound the work for the storyteller, the Dark Ages only got dedicated playbooks for vampires and mages, with mages only getting a few books at that, unless you play the alternate Mage universe setting, Ars Magica. Thankfully, it's not too difficult to translate the Modern Knights playbooks into the Dark Ages. The biggest not-so-fun fact is that this setting was created while White Wolf was bloating their publishing. This means that if you didn't buy all the books they were publishing, you were missing key information. Thankfully, the White Wolf wiki exists, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem today. But could you imagine what it was like in the 90s and early 2000s? Keeping up to date would have been a nightmare. Because of Paradox's acquisition of White Wolf, there's no dedicated content being made anymore. Saying that, it's still an important time period for the Modern Knights. So some characters, especially unliving, vampiric ones, will have ties to the Dark Ages. The important parts have all been described in other playbooks lore sections, because the Dark Ages play an important role in some of them, especially Mage the Ascension and Changeling the Dreaming. If you want any inspiration for the Dark Ages, Go and Google for interesting events that happened in your favourite European country during the 12th to 13th centuries. Be careful of Wikipedia though. The Dark Ages setting allows players to experience the world of darkness through a more archaic but nonetheless interesting setting, where dragons can still walk the earth, where mages are nigh gods in mortal form, where werewolves slaughter in the name of their pagan god Gaia, where changelings first began to appear in the world as their fey kin vanished, where spectral entities loom over the living, and where the ancients of ages long past still roam the earth. Although the setting is referred to as the Dark Ages, many of the source books actually encourage alternate time periods to be a chronicle setting. Many chronicles even jump from century to century, taking place at the most pivotal points in history and in World of Darkness lore, such as the Fated Diablerie of Cappadocius, the rise and fall of Dracula, the dawn of the Inquisition, or the first Anarch revolt that culminated in the creation of the Camarilla and the Sabbat. To add to this, there were also settings for the werewolves and Quasian game lines. Due to the content bloat that White Wolf was doing at the time, they weren't as developed as you would like. Nonetheless, they offer storytellers and players the opportunity to play their chronicles in alternate time periods, beyond those of the modern knights and the Dark Ages. Currently, only VTN 20th has a Dark Age setting, which is effectively the revised edition's Dark Age setting with some tweaks. So for once, I'm actually going to say that you're better off grabbing revised edition books for the Dark Ages. This is also because the writing and artwork for V20's Dark Ages is presented more for Dungeons and Dragons than the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages is in a strange spot community-wise, as it's a subsection of a section. What I mean is that for you to play it, you would need to find someone who wants to play, say, VTM, and also set the Chronicle in the Dark Ages, rather than the Modern Knights. So the community isn't that large, but if you dig around, you're bound to find someone. Then again, since this series is meant for new people, you should probably stick to D&D or Pathfinder until you're more experienced using the Storyteller system. There you have it, every relevant playbook explained for beginners. I cannot stress to you how important it is that beginners play the beginner-friendly playbooks first. But if you're adamant on playing MTA as your first playbook, well, don't say I didn't warn you. The World of Darkness is a very complex and intricate setting. I hope you see, as I see, especially after Maze the Ascension and Changeling the Dreaming, that the World of Darkness is, and forever will be, a clown world. But if I were to sum up the vibe for the World of Darkness setting, it would be Ordinary World by Duran Duran. Now, for the first time in this series, I'll be doing the YouTuber thing. If you've enjoyed this series, please like and subscribe and comment "I love 5th edition" to show me that you made it to the end. I've got some ideas for what I want to do next, including the series I teased in a prior video, so stay tuned for that. But if you want me to talk more about topics within the World of Darkness, please let me know down below in the comments. That's enough from me now. I hope these videos helped you on your journey into the World of Darkness. Thank you for watching, and I wish you all the best.